Hey, Sluggish. How's it going? Hey, what's up, Toto? Hey, King Clasher, welcome to the stream. Construct, good morning. I don't know how Crane always knows as soon as I go live, but that's when he just has to start talking. I hear you, bud. I know. Game Clasher, you're new here to being a DM. You have an idea for an encounter, need help to know if it's fair, if I need to balance or change something. Well, you're in the right place. Yeah, cats just know. He's like, I heard you talking. I know what you say. Monster. Chill. Nope. You're not being squirrely. Nope. Okay. Paint first. Toto was wondering if I can help with something. How do I handle time skips? Like you're having a 3-month time skip because an arc ended in trouble. Yeah, you just say, and now we pick things up, 3 months later. That will usually suffice. Hey, Rachel, good morning. Clash your keynote. Here's that we're using Roll20. And you want to rely on the 2DM function where a player and DM can communicate and roll without others knowing. I don't know much about that. Unfortunately. Where did I... Oh. It was Crane. Crane hitting my Crane hitting my camera button like a champ. Charming. Charming. Everybody should have cats. Okay. Where was I? Looks like these questions simultaneously are getting very complicated. Where are we? 512. Get my streak going again here. So let's unzoom. Since we are working on the right-hand side of the book, we will use the right back cover for a prompt. So let's roll one of those. An 89. 89, suited for war. Well, that's cool. Suited for war. That brings a lot of different things to mind. Makes me think of like an Iron Man suit, maybe. Pull up the text on screen. Suited for war. So we could be doing something with like general. We could do, you know, weapons of war. We could do armor. Strategy. Conflict. All of these things would fit. Toto, you're thinking, what might the players be doing in that time, and make some mechanics if they want to make some upgrades and get equipment? You don't know what to do. Well, I mean, you can have sort of extended downtime during time skips if you want, but you also don't need to, right? Hey, Nat 20, good morning. It's okay to, like, the thing that we control as DMs is the passage of time. We decide when initiative hits. We decide when and how long, you know, these long rests are. So you could just make that call. If players have ideas that they want to explore, you can always do that, but you shouldn't feel like you have to. Maybe suited for war. Kind of like the location idea. A place where war happened. Okay. I'm going to start with that. Hey, Tiago. All right. First sentence. The two armies met for battle at the ruins of the blank. Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. All right. See if we can get 8. Decent idea. The ruins of the Lost King at the Crimson Desert, the ruins of the Great Valley, the ruins of the monastery. What's up, big man? Over in TikTok chat. Hope you're doing well. The ruins of the empty kingdom. I like the ideas. The ruins. So I like giant corpse. Well, ruins of the giant corpse is strange, but the ruins of the, you know, some sort of like felled giant. Maybe something like that. Let's see here. What is this? So the Great Valley makes me think of Stonehenge. Titan Skull could be cool. Ruins of the castle caused by the giant corpse. There we go. Ruins of an empty kingdom. Okay. How about the ruins of the lost castle as a 1? How about the ruins of the stone giants? Ruins of the stone giants. Could interpret that a few different ways. Hey, what's up, Duna? You're kind of chat, new subscriber. How y'all doing? Doing great. Thanks for joining the. Actually, Pie's a better shorting. How about Pie? Hope you're doing well. We're just coming up with some nonsense here. Ruins of the stone giants. The ruins of the wandering river. How about the ruins of the ancient ship? Ruins of the dying forest. Well, that kind of makes me want to go straight to my Ocarina inspiration and go with Forest Temple. That's probably not quite there. I'm wanting concrete places. I am a fan of the specificity, yes. It's not really that specific, right? We're not going crazy with names and things like that, but it's more of like a picture. Like the more solid the picture is that comes to mind, the more evocative the idea, the better. The two armies met for battle at the ruins of the lost castle, stone giants, ruins of the ancient ship. If I was going to do something with the forest, maybe it's like some sort of a like rooftop village, maybe. Oh, that takes it to an interesting direction. The ruins of the skyscraper. I never do anything modern. Maybe I should. Armies meant for battle. I mean, we can massage that into some sort of a tower. That way it works either way. The ruins of the Great Tower, let's say. The ruins of the smoldering forest. I like that. Hey, Rodrigo. I kind of like ruins of the treetop village. That's kind of... It's one of those things that I've always wanted to craft. But I've never found like the way that works for me to do it, so I haven't done it. The Giant's Crypt. Okay, something with skyscraper tower. How about the ruins of the floating tower or the flying tower? The tower in the sky. Ruins of an ice cave. Okay. In the sky. How about something a frozen... Ooh. The frozen forge. Hey, Paul. The ruins of the frozen forge. Forgotten God's Altar. That's a good one, Paul. Sunken something. Or the sinking. So syncing library. The nice part about syncing is that we can place that in a lot of different contexts. It could be syncing in the sand. It could be syncing in the water. Sunken library and Avatar. See, all the really fun ideas have already been an idea somewhere else. So never let that stop you. Just be like me and be completely ignorant of them. So it's like, oh, that's a cool idea. I do like syncing though. The ruins of the sinking library. Like every year, new floors are lost. The Demon's Outpost. Demon. Yeah, I don't mind that one actually. Pie, ruins of an old god, Templar statue. I like that. Yeah, let's do ruins of the, let's say altar to the old gods. What's up, Lex? Gelatinous cubes slowly eating a library. That would be. Okay, so that gives us our first sentence. Now we need a second one. Hey, Rodrigo, how would I run a fast travel session? Your original idea was a hex travel, but that would take a bit, and they definitely want to get to the next big city / plot. Time skipping it feels cheap. So for travel, yeah, hex travel. Hex travel is one way to do that. It depends how specific you want to get. Instead, you could I don't know what the name is for it. It's almost like mind mapping. So rather than like, you know, presumably you're going from A to B. What you describe or what the options that you give to the party are some version of options 1, 2, or 3, right? So they can go by land, by air, by sea, and then, you know, maybe each one of those has a couple of decisions along the way. So you can basically make a little kind of decision tree, and they probably still all end up in the same place, even though you could have multiple places and different outcomes as they go. But this way you can sort of allow some decision making that feels a little bit more than just describing the travel, and you can probably have an encounter or sometimes two that is relevant to the choices that they're making. So you have to do a little bit of work to prep some ideas, but if you do it in a smart way, you don't have to actually come up with 6 wholly different ideas. Kind of similar to that video I did sometime this last month, I think, about chase scenes, kind of treating them as like choose your own adventure sort of scenarios. So it's not as complex as a hex map. It's not technical like that, but you're sort of broad strokes giving decisions to the party and letting them take that and run with it, and something like that could work. If you wanted to do it. Okay, I don't know how this one's going to work out. So we have, so for our second sentence, so the 2 armies met for battle at the ruins of some place with a bunch of history that we don't know. Due to the magic at that place, everyone was blank. Like I said, I don't know how this one's going to work out. So we'll forget completely. Hey, Connor, completely forget the first list. We don't want these ideas to be tied at all to, the first list of locations. So now, sure, yeah, turned undead, right? That's one idea. Due to the magic there, everyone was I kind of like slowly losing skills, like you remove skill ranks, which they obviously get back. Yeah, I something about, I think there's 2 ideas here. One about like maybe being slowed. Due to the magic there, everything was, I'm going to say, happening in slow motion. Turns into a Zack Snyder action scene. Hey, no problem, Rodrigo. In slow motion. Hey, Zcon, you quite like the idea of one Doctor Who episode where clones think they fought for centuries, forgetting they fought for less than a week or so. That is cool. Yeah, glowing like, or maybe even pushing that further, everyone was maybe like mutated or transformed in some way. Try to pick the phrase I want to use here. I'm gonna say mutated. How about mutating? Negating magic, stolen from history. Extremely hungry, shifted. I like that. See, I was worried about this one. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if this was the right twist, but you guys are proving me wrong. Lots of good ideas. Stolen from history. What if everyone was forgotten? Simple, horrifying. Something, yeah. I was thinking about flight. I was thinking about teleportation. I think like plane shifting. Okay, do we like shrunken or enlarged? I think I might like shrunken better. I think everyone was shrunk down. Everyone was well, we'll just stay in the everyone was shrinking. And then yeah, Rachel, I like that idea, like some sort of boosted or is it just due to them everyone there was like is it like casting magic naturally or like just like exuding energy? I guess this goes back to that glowing idea, like they're radioactive with magic. Due to the magic there, everyone was okay. Let's everyone. The two armies met for battle at the ruins, and due to the magic there, everyone was I should say everyone's moving in slow motion. Radio magictive. Falling into a collective nightmare, becoming someone else. How about everyone was aged dramatically? Connor, that's good. Unable to leave. I like that. falling asleep, just a quick never-ending nap. I was also thinking like they could be tricked by someone. Minnie's on the side dancing uncontrollably. I like that. Okay. I think all of these kind of fit with this idea of everyone there was actually, I'm gonna skip sleeping, actually dreaming. Cool. Let's roll some. Minnie's just digging. All right. Let's roll on this. Oh, let me finish my table. So. There. Now we can roll on it. Let's learn about this this ruined location, because that's actually, I think, what we're going to end up talking the most about. So an 8 and a 4. The two armies met for battle at the ruins of the altar to the old gods. Due to the magic there, everyone was shrinking. So at the altar to the old gods, everyone was shrinking. Why would they be shrinking? Due to the magic. Like, you know, magic sort of left over. That's just sort of kind of present. But this feels like, yeah. But this feels more like tinkering. This feels more like playful, like a Loki type of god. Like, I think the magic there, in this case, the altar, this suggests that something has made it their home and is sort of tampering with the battle, I would say. I mean, it could be as simple as a curse, even, that was like put on the altar, or something that's like something that was triggered by the battle as like a defense mechanism, or as some sort of test of wills, let's say, and everyone, by nature of being in battle, just like insta fails it. All right, 2 and a 1. The two armies met for battle at the ruins of the stone giants. Due to the magic there, everyone was moving in slow motion. It's the stone giant ruins. I think the stone giants, I think this would be like due to whatever I'm torn, whatever would either let the stone giants thrive or cause their demise, right? Because that kind of slowed passage of time Okay, so the stone giants aren't there anymore, but as a last ditch effort to, persevere, they basically had their entire kind of area, they slowed time down because they're stone giants. They don't need very much, and they thought like, well, we can extend our life in that way. Minis, I just saw your lizard folk comment. Absolutely. Any excuse to shrink down players gives you all sorts of opportunities for that kind of stuff. Connor, the gods turn the Titans into men here by shrinking them. Now, centuries later, the magic is activated again, turning the men even smaller. That's a good way to use it too. Orctimus Prime, you stumbled on my shorts. You find my work inspiring. Well, thank you so much. Glad to hear that. 5 and a 6. The two armies met for battle at the ruins of the tower in the sky. Due to the magic there, everyone was unable to leave. Okay. So, the tower in the sky. There are lots of ways to interpret this. I like to think of it, because it's a ruin, I like to think of it as a tower that has fallen. So it was in the clouds, but due to any number of backstory reasons, it basically fell from the clouds and collapsed. And so fighting in the ruins, the armies are unaware that this tower was really just like a passageway. It's just sort of a tunnel, a tower of stairs that you could take from sort of one plane to another. And so I like the idea of this army as sort of fighting across all these different places. Like, it's not that they can't leave, maybe it's more that they can't ever get home, because they basically kind of trigger this sort of displacement. They're sort of untethered from our plane, and they just are in this kind of perpetual war bubble. And the displacement with playing with time, it's like they, it's kind of like you guys were saying earlier, where it's like, how long were they even really fighting for? Like, who knows, right? Even from their perspective, what would it look like to everyone else? Yeah. 3 and a 2. The two armies met for battle at the ruins of the ancient ship. Due to the magic there, everyone was mutating. Okay. Ooh, this gives me Obra Dinn vibes. This is a cursed ship. So the ancient ship, probably beached, probably there's lost inspiration, probably inland somewhere that a ship wouldn't naturally be, and the contents of the cargo hold, or like the treasure that was uncovered or whatever is cursed, causes basically anyone who spends time, maybe not even that, maybe not anyone who spends time, maybe anyone who like spills blood, or like any injuries that happen in this area, it's like the mutations take hold, the magic sort of sinks in and begins to transform. Yeah, I think that would be fun. I can use the 5 and the 7. The two armies met for battle at the ruins of the sinking library. Due to the magic there, everyone was exuding wild magic. So sinking could be sinking anywhere. Could be sinking in the sand. Could be sinking in the water. Let's say, I'm going to pick something different. I'm going to say it's sinking in the swamp. And it's been slowly sinking. Some of the, the library is still used. but the lower floors sunk and were basically lost to anybody who doesn't have the ability to, like, I guess, dive for it through infested swamp water. So it's largely been abandoned. But the arcane books over time have broken down, and the magic has basically infected the swamp around this library. So it literally is like the swamp water, and even like the bog, the air, the mist, the monsters are all like contaminated with, you could call it wild magic, but it's more like elemental, arcane. Minis, why are the two armies having it out though? I don't know. could be any number of reasons. Yeah. Pick your reason. Swampy magic, yeah. Magic tomes releasing magic in the surrounding area, maybe magical alligator men. Absolutely. Fireball casting mosquitoes. I would take swamp creatures and then, yeah, overlay something about them to now be attached to a spell. I think that would be a really easy way to make this like feel legit. 6 and an 8. The two armies met for battle at the ruins of the Frozen Forge. Due to the magic there, everyone was actually dreaming. So at the Frozen Forge, you know, Forge, I always think of like this is where magic items are being created. And since it's a magic aura of some sort, it would be whatever was sort of the last thing that was made before everything was sort of iced over, before everything was sort of frozen and stuck in time. And I wonder if, like, it would take some thought, especially with that many people potentially. Like I would imagine this would be, you know, this is like the battle is happening, I imagine, on like the ice kind of over the cavern, and maybe there's a cave in and there's something that sort of kind of reveals the frozen forge to the elements, to everything else. I imagine from a distance this would be something like, you know, I'm not sure that these people could save themselves. Like they would be asleep, they would be dreaming. Perhaps the battle would be continuing. There's some sort of shared dream state or something like that. But that may just be a forever state. Like they may be frozen that way until somebody can, like, and that may be the challenge, right? How do we get these people out? Like, here's the perimeter. It's going to get more intense the further in we go. But like, that could be a really interesting challenge for a party to say, like, well, if we go inside this perimeter, then we're going to get sucked into it as well. And then we're going to be fighting this battle in a dream. Or maybe that's part of the strategy. Maybe there's a way to sort of reconstruct what happened and like find the person who has like who's triggered it, so they can find where to go and to untrigger it. That could actually be fun. Like there's something about the battle and the way that it happened, and you have to sort of use the you know, replayability of the dream state to sort of locate that moment and figure out how to undo it. That could be fun. Let's see here. So we could do a 1, a 4, or a 5, and a 7. 1, 4, 5, 7. Okay. Nope. 4 and a 5. The two armies met for battle at the ruins of the treetop village. Due to the magic there, everyone was. Why did I have that? I can't use that. Why did I say 5 was okay? 3 is okay. 3 or 7. 7. Sorry about that. Two armies met for battle at the ruins of the treetop village. Due to the magic there, everyone was aging dramatically. Well, the treetop village was abandoned specifically because the rot that was affecting the forest was aging everything. That was like the nature of what was happening. So the elves or the druids or whoever got the heck out of there, but it feels like causing harm to the trees themselves or causing harm to the forest is probably what would, like, roll that curse onto you. Orctimus, the muddy waters might be attracting creatures from elemental planes of earth and water due to arcane imbalances. Clash may be the cause of anything to be sucked into a number of rounds and the recipient find itself in another plane. I like it. Time bubble to restore the forest. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, why does the king need the help of the party? Well, all of his best, his best fighting force was just basically turned into a bunch of geriatrics. So either they have to step in and fight this whatever threat, or they've got to figure out how to heal the forest to bring, actually, ideally both. Like, we need to bring, end this curse and reverse this effect, and also take care of this new threat. 2 armies met for battle at the ruins of the lost castle. Due to the magic there, everyone was forgotten. That actually fits together pretty well. The castle was lost because its location was sucked from people's minds magically, and as a result, the battle that happens there, the same thing happens. I mean, this would be one of those, like, ideas that would require, I think, a long plan to get to, because you'd have to, you would want to create pockets of history that were, like, missing, and then create a mechanism by which the party could begin to find those and identify those, like, by, in a sense, the party finds the lost castle, and it's like, well, now you are currently forgotten. But while you're in this state, number one, you become aware of a lot of things here that have been lost. This is kind of like the end of time from Loki, right? Or whatever it's called. Like, at the end of time is where all these things get abandoned. Like, it's like you're finding it's like all the conspiracies were true. This is where everything actually ended up. But they will become similarly lost to time unless they can sort of figure out how to break this curse. Like, they can basically fix all of these things. That'd be an interesting, I mean, I guess almost campaign on its own, right? To sort of work through the lost history of a world. That could be kind of fun. Zigon, this is a great idea machine. Thanks for doing this. Yeah, that'd be a good name for the stream. Maybe that'd be better than Daily Encounter is idea machine. I like it too. It's a good mechanism. It's a good mechanical process. It's never failed. It's never failed yet to give an idea or two that I end up wanting to use in some form or another. And now we can pull this out of the oven and say, cool, got this purple mess. What can we make of it? So I'm going to refresh my coffee and then come back and doodle what we came up with onto these pages for a little bit. So give me like 2 minutes. I'll be right back and keep on going. Thanks for the links, Construct. Appreciate it. I know daily encounter is misleading. Working on it. Yeah, this is the drawing portion. This is my this is where I practice the stuff that I'm like least comfortable with. That's okay. I haven't been here in a bit either. Because I don't really know what all of what this is all for, but I like doing it and experimenting, and so that's what we do. Hey, Christian, over on TikTok chat. How do I come up with my amazing puzzles? That is... It's a tough one. I mean, I really like puzzles, so I think about them. I pay attention to them. I really like to kind of ground the puzzle usually in something that could actually exist. So I've done a lot of reading about, like, how codes are written, how secrets are actually kept. I think about every puzzle that exists has to have a reason, and whatever that reason is, somebody has to be able to, like, use it as a tool. And then I think mostly about how the party's going to experience it and how they are going to gather clues and begin to piece it together. And then, just kind of bash your head against a wall for a while, and hopefully, I mean, it also definitely requires testing. I mean, most of the puzzle ideas that I get to talk about in videos on my page has the benefit of, my players being my testing ground, right? Where I get to see what worked and see what didn't, and I just tell you guys about the good ideas, not all the garbage ones that didn't work out. That's not true. I tell you about some of those too. You tried replicating the box with a false bottom. It was really hard. Yeah, I imagine it would probably be easier with wood. Maybe I should just get into woodworking, because some of the stuff with foam and cardboard and magnets and stuff, it seems to be harder. But well, it's not actually. This is it's not a Sharpie. It's a Artistro brush tip. It's actually like a water, but it's basically a paintbrush. It's the best I was able to find. Something that would consistently actually cover paint. It's like, oh, paint will cover paint. Fair enough. Well, I think the problem that I was having with Sharpies is that they was basically just with the tips. Like it was like the paint, the when writing on the paint, it was also like almost like rubbing off on the Sharpie tip. So it was just becoming like more dull over time. I don't know, it's hard to describe, but they work a little bit. They just don't work as fluidly as using ink or using paint. Yeah, the felt tips. That's the word I was looking for. See you, Rachel. Catch you next time. Have a good one. Working on zine work. You know, boom, boom, boom. Well, I feel like it's a natural extension of the daily encounter to go into then doodling and then into working on the next zine. It makes sense in my mind. So maybe the thing to do Years 2, you enjoy being Jesse's avatar of chaos. Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't forget to take anything positive and you gotta smush it somehow. You gotta cut it with some dose of negativity. That's the only way you can really enjoy anything good, is by ruining it a little bit, right? And that seems to be his ethos. Okay, the sheriff considers the townsperson we know a suspect since they were being suspicious. Only we are aware of their secret. You've wired your own network. Best decision. The crappy included Wi-Fi was hilariously inadequate. You know, I've considered it, especially since, you know, we really like, you know, our house. We like where we live. We have absolutely no plans. It's like every now and then I think, okay, what would it really take? Because it wouldn't take much. I really only have, I mean, even for my setup, which is down here, like right next to the router, really only have, I think, one of my, like, the actual streaming machine is the only one that's actually connected hardline. Everything else is Wi-Fi. So yeah, it's probably a good idea. Run some cable, enjoy the benefits forever. There's just a couple spots in the house that would be a bit obnoxious, but it's doable. What's up, Arch? Welcome to the stream. Do I ever do paid DMing for other groups? I never have. Nope. Haven't tried that yet. Maybe someday. I don't know. But not right now. TC, why do you always ask that? Help me understand. What's that about? Well, you got me. You're working your first campaign in the guild lands. Cool, cool. You want to put a mystery shack in there. You saw TikTok where a PC looks in and gets their eyes poked. Yeah, I could imagine that. I'm a big believer in a not insignificant portion of all of our D&D games happens around doors. It's a thing. It's definitely a thing. See you, TC. Good luck. Work for a guild, a temple, cult. Maybe like a warlord. Hey Lights, welcome to the stream. Are the numbers on the list dice results? So yeah, I'm working on the next issue of my zine, and so the basic structure, it's like, you know, it's like one layout basically, and it's set up with like a kind of a Mad Lib style. So this one is unique. It has 4 tables, 4 D12 tables. So it's basically building, not sure what I'll either call it strong and silent or carry a big stick, probably carry a big stick, because this set of tables creates basically 2 henchmen. So one that's tough and turns heads, and one that's a scallywag that lashes out. And so there's basically tables that punch those sentences up. And then at the bottom of each page, so this is spread across 2 pages, and at the bottom of each one I have these bonus rolls that are usually like D4s, because it's only it's basically what I can squeeze into the margin, because it's just these little books. And so on top of everything else, it's like if you want an extra roll of, like in this case, I guess it's who they work for, and maybe it's a type of, not the opposite, I guess, of motivation, what they fear. Yeah, these will translate into D4s. So they work for, I figure either like working for a guild, a temple, a cult, or a warlord gives very different vibes. And then they could fear the party, they could fear the mountains. I'm sitting here thinking about some type of magic. How about they fear the future? That's kind of neat. Arch, you're pretty new to D&D, but you've been watching on the shorts. Really cool stuff. Thank you. I mean, compared to some people, I have not been in the game for very long. I've only been playing for about 7 years. There are people who've been doing this, you know, since the 80s or whatever, right? So never too late to join. Get in, and the nice part is there's so many different ways to enjoy the game. So many different ways to play and to contribute to it. Fearing the mountains sounds very Appalachian. Yeah, I like. Well, I'm trying to, because it'd be very easy to make like, oh, they fear, and then just like pick 4 locations, but it's like, no, that's boring. It's not boring, but it's like one-dimensional. So they fear the party. Well, that would be a fun twist, because these characters have been built up as a threat, and it's like, no, actually they're terrified of the party. It's like, oh, that's an interesting twist. They fear the mountains. Well, that's anything. It's like, are there beasts in the mountains? Like, it's just kind of an idea generation. They fear the future. So it's okay, we've got characters they fear, a location, a source of their fear, the generally the future. Maybe there could be a, you know, some future event that they're scared of, or maybe they were told of a prophecy and they're fearful of that. Probably some sort of maybe object, or I guess I could do a group other than the party. You know, do they fear the king? Nah. You know, they could always fear the sea. They could fear. They fear the dark. Cloud, I like that too. Fearing a sound would be fun too. Videos inspire me to think outside the box so much. Love the new Goosebumps series you've been doing. Oh, thanks. Yeah. You've been following YouTube for a long time. I never realized you stream somehow. Love your stuff. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I've streamed a lot actually over the years, and what I'm trying to do less of is, even though this probably feels a little bit like it, earlier we were, you know, brainstorming and creating stuff. So in the mornings I try to do daily encounter streams where I basically kind of create a couple of these tables and do some rolls. But this afternoon, usually I'll jump off and I'll get back on later. And this afternoon I'm going to keep working through the D&D starter set. So I've been sort of reading through the Stormwreck Isle and sort of piecing it apart and then going like, how would I run it? So I've been trying to do more streams like that where they're sort of around a project that I'm working on, because I think I want to do a proper video about it. Okay, this one feels good. Oh, that's awesome, Claude. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. I look forward to sending you one. Rodrigo, how do I organize my notes? Mine are a gigantic mess. I don't know how to fix it. Yeah, that's fair. You know, to some extent, I think mess is a part of it, right? Because we don't, you know, campaigns aren't systematic. We don't move through them in a straight line. We kind of go all over the place. I sort of just embrace the chaos a little bit. I have type notes that are usually organized by session, and then I have some semblance of, I have like a folder of like, I guess this is about the world and characters and locations, but I'm much more focused on the session itself, and then anything that I scribble down on top of those printed notes during a session, I keep all that written stuff too, and I keep them in binders. So I have a whole shelf down here is just dedicated to binders of session scribbles, session notes. Because I'm so session oriented. If I'm thinking about like, okay, I'm trying to remember something, it's like if that happened, I'm probably associating it to a certain session. I can flip back through my notes to find that session, and that's where that thing existed. If that makes sense. I have not done a good job, which maybe I might change because I've got some ideas more around world building. But I've never really structured my notes in that way for like anybody else to make sense of them. You know, it's just never been a thing I've done. Whatever you do, beware the spooky haunt. The ghost of a life cut short waits there, focused only on their unfinished business. Focused on their unfinished business. Hey, Space Dog. I'm working on the next zine that I'm releasing, the next set of books. So the first two that I released are the first one is monster focused encounters. The second one were sort of strange, mysterious events focused encounters. And book 3 is magic items, and book 4 is characters. So I'm this one is tied to characters, so this one is about a haunting, and so I'm basically doing all of the kind of writing before I lay it out in design and do the art and stuff like that. So this particular one, we have 3 D12 tables, so that's all pretty well set, and then basically in the bottom margins, I include some bonus D4 rolls just because there's space in the margin, so why not? Rolls all over the place. Is it for 5e? It is completely system agnostic. These are basically idea generators. So if we look at this one, so like I said, this is from the character book called Unlikely Suspects. So kind of all nefarious characters, ne'er-do-wells, that sort of thing. So it's all sort of structured like this, where it's sort of Mad Lib style with some tables. So whatever you do, beware the spooky haunt. So we could D12 and say, okay, whatever you do, beware the toppled watchtower. The ghost of a life cut short waits there, focused on their unfinished business. So the ghost of just pick 4 again, diligent scribe, and a 4 again with their failing guild. So we've got a toppled watchtower. Toppled watchtower, a ghost of a scribe, and their failing guilds. So kind of, there are some examples that I put in the book as well of here's like, let's take a handful of combinations and see where this, kind of see where that goes. But the idea is that by the time you sort of combine all this together into these sentences, you go, oh, this makes me think of this now. And usually just a couple rolls is all it takes for like, oh, this is an idea that I really want to run with. I really like it. It's become one of my favorite ways to brainstorm ideas with people. So the ghost appears when it's raining. Ghost could appear when it's hungry. The ghost could appear when I find new music to play. Gets creative juices flowing. Yeah, exactly. Yep. That's the idea anyway. Honestly, the funny part has been like making these in contrast to how tables never used to be a part of my creative process at all. As a DM, I just never, like, random tables just never really did anything for me, and they still kind of don't, but building them this way, I find them a lot more interesting. I still don't really like rolling at the table for like random, like, oh, turns out there are 12 wolves. Like, that doesn't necessarily interest me. But using these kinds of concepts and rolling them against each other, I think makes a lot of sense. Everybody's got their favorite way. There used to be a ton in 3rd edition. Gotcha. I started with 5.0, so I respect the old editions, but I don't know a ton about them. Just, every now and then I'll find an old book. It's not actually as common as I would think to like pick up old stuff. I think people kind of hold on to their old. I mean, probably people that really like 3rd or 4th or whatever they're running just keep running it, right? So why get rid of the books? Yeah, let me grab that for you. So these are, what is it originally called? Like I collected a bunch, but these are, if you look up Stream Beats by Harris Heller, I'll type it into the chat for you. This particular song is called Monday's Routine. There are Harris Heller. There are a bunch of should make a note on Discord or something. Maybe it doesn't come up that often. Would rats be something? Just trying to see what you're looking for. Yeah. I think my mind went there too, and then I kept digging, and I'm not sure. Sometimes I write things down and then figure out what they mean. Figure out what they could mean. So I kind of like, so each of these goes at the bottom of a page. I kind of like bonus one to be, an extension, and I like for bonus two to be sort of a complication, right? Sort of something that makes it a lot hairier. Very loosely, right? One is simple, two gets headier. So when I think about, do I like it attracts, that's why I was thinking of like secrets, like it draws in, do I want it to be creatures, or is there something conceptual? That's my thought process. Because ghosts are going to, all the tropes, right? It gets cold, different types of creatures, certainly, darkness, moonlight, secrets. Appears when it's raining, appears when it's hungry, when it's quiet, when it's angry. That all checks. Maybe it's just a matter of, I know what it's a matter of. I'm not exercising synonyms as much as I should be. I don't hate secrets. Let's keep going. Set that one aside. Like the damned, the cursed. The jinxed. Should just the doomed. There we go. That's how I like that. Tracks the doomed. Yeah, other types of entities. Or maybe like rifts. Portals into the void. Something like a gateway. It attracts gateways. It's a little weird. Doorways, entrances. But I could just say portals, right? Tracks portals. And it feels like there should be the doomed portals, maybe creatures. Maybe there's a type of creature. I mean, obviously anything undead, but I'm not sure that that's enough. Yeah, it's okay. Oh, I'm finishing up these tables, these entries for my zine on nefarious characters called Likely Suspects. This one's about a ghost. And this ghost attracts danger. It attracts creepy. Oh. Yeah, something like unexplained. What's the setting? It's system agnostic. It's just an idea generation machine. How about the ones that killed it? Like it attracts its own killers. Oh, I just had something. Had it. Lost it. I mean, it could attract killers. So this one, it's really more character focused, like creating the character behind the haunting. So this haunted purpose, whatever you do, beware the. It's kind of written out like Mad Libs. Whatever you do, beware the spooky haunt. The ghost of a life cut short waits there, focused on their unfinished business. Then we have a D12 table for spooky haunt, for life cut short, and for unfinished business. So let's say we rolled and got a 2 for each of them. Whatever you do, beware the inn's 3rd floor. The ghost of a reckless scavenger is there, focused entirely on unpaid debts. So that actually fits fairly well, right? Like somebody who like never checked out, and the whole idea is to sort of frame out an idea that we can sort of populate with our own worlds and our own situations and say, actually, that's exactly what I need for this tavern or for this town or for this. That's kind of what it's about. And as we kind of roll these ideas together, we end up with lots of different, wildly different ideas. It's fun. Ends up being really fun. Okay, that's fine. That's fine for draft 1. Let's go on to a real charmer. Scam artists charm the crowd when they con them in order to get their valuables. Good thing someone noticed the dead giveaway. You had an old trail between two cities which wasn't used due to the steep terrain. Abandoned house. House, an abandoned shack with a ghost of an old patrol unit. Hey, Christian. How do I handle travel? Do I describe the travel or plan specific encounters? I've tried it a couple different ways, and I think I think there are a lot of good ways to do it. The first time that players travel to a location, I try to make it as interesting as I can. And on subsequent travels to the same location, we effectively fast travel. We jump there. Because I want the game to feel like you are, you know, going to new places should feel like an adventure, should feel like you're going and experiencing things you haven't before. I like to use the travel to a location to sort of set up that location. So let's say the party could go to the Cursed Forest, or the party could go to the capital city. The road that takes them to and into the Cursed Forest is going to have different encounter possibilities, different events, different creatures, different threats, because that road is going to have things that are going to and leaving the forest, things that are affected by that place that they're going to in a way that's entirely different than the capital city. I'm not opposed to random events during travel, but when I'm planning an arc, I kind of take the travel into it and say, okay, well, the thing that's wrong with the Cursed Forest is, just take an easy one. You know, the whole thing is caught in like a time loop. right? So the forest is basically stuck out of time. Well, that means that probably on the way there might be some really odd things. There might be a whole lot of, like, I could imagine missing posters, missing persons posters, or even maybe people searching for somebody that's been lost. Because I imagine, like, the forest, if there is that sort of thing happening, it's not like everybody who goes in the forest experiences it. It's kind of like the Feywild, like you have to slip into it. So I could imagine a traveler who's been looking for somebody that's been missing in the forest for like 3 decades, and maybe the party's going to go, well, they're gone. Like, why are you still looking? It's like, I believe they're still out there. Maybe there are even some creatures that are affected by, and something about the forest has changed. So maybe some creatures have migrated, or like that much magical kind of energy is maybe attracting more exotic creatures than would otherwise. And so it's a good way to kind of like drop in some clues and some characters that might come into play. Maybe not, but kind of just a gesture in the direction of what that is. Whereas if the party's going to the capital city, well, maybe the capital city is currently, there's a big power struggle. The council itself is sort of at odds. So there's these factions within the city. So as you go there, you're going to have people that are, leaving for that reason, right? They've been driven out. You're probably going to have some people that are maybe strung up as criminals. Like maybe there's a particular faction. You're going to get sort of hints of what's going on as you approach. That's kind of how I try to think about that stuff. But also, if you have a fun idea, you can always just throw it in. Not everything has to be tied to something important. In fact, the more kind of random things that happen that seem unconnected, you can always connect them to something later if you want to. But if everything feels always connected to some larger story, then that can make the world feel small, right? So at the end of the day, for me, it's always whatever the good idea is that's gonna drive everything. That's gonna be the most important thing. And if I have a better idea than what contributes to the arc, I'm gonna use that. Sure. Cake, talismans hung on trees that have items belonging to people that were lost in the woods in hopes of bringing them back. Totally, yeah. Or if it's a hag's doing, or if it's if it's an accident, right? If whatever happened in the forest didn't have to happen, or was some strange event, like maybe the cracks have formed in the ground, maybe the forest is kind of decaying at the edges. I mean, all sorts of things could contribute to it. I mean, even just simple stuff. I had one. I had a kind of this forest town that was a walled location. It was basically the city existed to be a city-sized closed door mystery where something happened inside of this like totally locked off elven town, and the players were there to figure out how it could have happened because they locked the place down. And in that case, the way to sort of hint at what's going on is that, the first encounter they just had to wait in a very long line to be permitted entry into this city because it was in like constant lockdown. And so just kind of the characters, I think there were somebody's what are they called? Some kind of crazy chicken monsters escaped, and that became like a whole thing. I mean, whatever works, right? Making the location feel real is a good way to get started. Local traditions and all. Absolutely. Yeah. Travel's also a good way to bring in characters that the players have seen before. And, because people are out there traveling, right? I'll usually, at least once in a campaign, to have a traveling merchant. That's not always fun to do all the time, but I'll usually give them, an in-town shopping early on. Later on, we'll just hand wave it and do it outside of session because it's fun kind of the one time, and then I think it gets old really fast. Traveling merchants are sort of the same. Yeah, good question. Yes, construct. Yes, they're cockatrices. That's exactly what they were. Which I have and I printed them and did a hack job painting them. Need to find a way to paint something every day. Maybe that's what I'll do when I get my zine done. So many things that need painted. Don't even remember what all my buttons do. That's what it does. Yeah, Construct. Me too. Me too. Yeah, there's a lot. I'm excited. I'm excited this week because I think that, you know, I've spent the better part of the last month trying to find. You know, I've started making videos again, short videos, which everybody's been talking about for forever, right? It's like, okay, I initially was doing. Well, I went through a couple of different strategies, and what I've landed on now is, I think, a rhythm that I can maintain while doing other stuff, you know, like in the Discord and on stream and stuff like that. So if I can balance both of those things, I think it would be really good for the channel growth and community and my projects, stuff that I've been trying to get done. So hopefully stuff like that can come back, maybe even more often than once a week or every other week. Coffee's low. Be right back. Go refresh it. Knock out some more of these things. Be right back. Yeah, I have seen that movie. It's great. It's been a while. I still remember the important bits. I think they've done a show since then, huh? But I haven't watched that. You're rewatching the movie, it's so much more messed up with your saw when I was a teenager originally. It's just the spectacle. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to go back and watch things again. Town adored the hero when they did a great thing, but the hero lost everything when they did a bad thing. It's a fun one to expand on. Hey, Garrett, is this for another book? Yes, another booklet. You just snagged the first two the other day. What's the theme? Well, thank you. First of all, appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Yeah, this is for book 3 and book 4. Book 3 is magic items. I think it's called Don't Touch That. I'm pretty sure. And book 4 is nefarious characters, called Likely Suspects. So magic items and characters. The goal of which is not necessarily to roll to create them. Kind of, it is, but similar to the first two books, it's yes, the magic item or the character is created, but it's created in such a way that we have a situation, right? That we have something to do. So like this one. Once a folk hero, the town adored the hero when they did a great thing, but the hero lost everything when they did a bad thing. So creating a character that has this sort of relationship with the town. And I'm kind of finishing up the writing phase so that I can get into layout, hopefully yet this week. Because I'd really like to release a couple more. I have so many to work on. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, I think that'll do it for now. I'm going to take off for a little bit, and plan right now is to jump on this afternoon and dig back into the starter set. See if I can't finish up reading through that. So that's the big idea. Thanks everybody for hanging out, all the great ideas and great conversation. Catch you guys soon. See you, Tiago.